Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. King Charles's coronation will be the first time most of us will witness the ancient ceremony, which is deeply religious and steeped in pageantry. Buckingham Palace has confirmed it will take place on Saturday, May 6, 2023, and that his wife, Queen Consort Camilla, will be crowned alongside him. Although the palace said the ceremony would reflect the monarch's role today and look toward the future, it also added that it would be rooted in long-standing traditions and pageantry. There's 6 basic phases to the coronation: the recognition, the oath, the anointing, the investiture, which includes the crowning, and the enthronement and the homage. So what will happen during this ceremony? At Westminster Abbey in 7 months' time, here we take a look at the ancient traditions and rituals that are expected to happen. Recognition. This rite dates back to ancient procedures of the Witan, the Supreme Council of England in Anglo-Saxon times. The sovereign stands in the theatre, the central space in Westminster Abbey, and turns to show himself unto the people at each of the 4 directions, east, south, west and north. The Archbishop of Canterbury will proclaim Charles the undoubted king and ask the congregation and choir to show the homage and service by crying out, "God save King Charles," with the order of service urging them to do so with willingness and joy. Coronation Oath. The form and wording of the oath has varied over the centuries. The king will promise to reign according to law, exercise justice with mercy, and maintain the Church of England. The king, with the sword of state carried before him, will go to the altar and declare, "The things which I have here before promised, I will perform and keep, so help me God." He will kiss the Bible and sign the oath. After the oath, the sovereign is then anointed, blessed, and consecrated by the Archbishop of Canterbury. The anointing with holy oil is the central act of the religious ceremony. The king will remove his crimson robe and sit in King Edward's chair, which was made in 1300 and has been used by every monarch since 1626, under a canopy of silk or cloth of gold, held by 4 knights of the Garter. The archbishop will use the golden eagle-shaped ampulla, which pours the oil from its beak, and the 12th century silver-gilt anointing spoon, which is the most ancient treasure of the crown jewels, to anoint the king in a form of a cross. Traditionally, the choir sings the anthem, Zadok the priest, as the anointing is carried out. Under the chair is expected to be the Stone of Destiny, the ancient sacred symbol of Scotland's monarchy, which was once captured by King Edward I of England, now only leaves Edinburgh Castle for coronations. Investiture, including the crowning. Having been sanctified, the sovereign puts on a sleeveless white garment, the clubium syndosis, and then a robe of cloth of gold, the supertunica. The king is presented with a jewelled sword and golden spurs, the symbol of chivalry, and the armills, golden bracelets of sincerity and wisdom. He will put on the robe royal of gold cloth and will be presented with the orb, the coronation ring on the 4th finger of his right hand, the sceptre and the rod. Then Charles, sitting in King Edward's chair, will be crowned by the Archbishop with St. Edward's crown, with the congregation shouting out, "God save the King." Enthroning. After a blessing, the king will go to his throne and be lifted up into it by the archbishops and bishops and other peers of the kingdom. Homage. The Archbishop, royal blood princes, likely to include the Prince of Wales, Prince William, and senior peers, pay homage to the monarch, placing their hands between the king's and swearing allegiance, touching the crown and kissing the king's right hand. The House of Commons does not pay homage. The Queen's coronation. Camilla as Queen Consort will also be crowned in a similar but simpler ceremony, which follows the homage. After Charles's marriage to Camilla, the royal family's website added the get-out clause, unless decided otherwise, to the phrase. A Queen Consort is crowned with the king in a similar but simpler ceremony. At George VI's coronation, Queen Elizabeth was anointed and crowned. She knelt down with the Archbishop, pouring holy oil on the crown of her head, and the Queen's ring was placed on her hand and her crown on her head. Her coronation crown was made especially for the 1937 coronation and features the famous but controversial Koh-i-Noor diamond. She was presented with a sceptre and the ivory rod with the dove before rising to sit on her own throne after bowing reverently to her husband. Thanks for listening. Please like, comment and subscribe.